Once upon a time, in a faraway land,
What are fairy stories?
The strange and wondrous place where nothing is as it seems.
Magic mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest?
Fairy is a perilous land.
Before she found herself falling down what seemed to be a very deep
It
well.
is the place you
A
visit
world
in your
of
dreams.
myth and magic.
when the clock began to
The
chime
evening
midnight,
star sailed down through the
A
sky.
mysterious voice began calling to the sad
She
princess.
pricked her finger with her needle. 3 drops of blood fell on the
In a
small
trance,
forest
she
window.
followed the haunting
And peered
sound
into
of
the
a
hollow
winding
tree.
stairway to the top of the
You
tower.
can read along with me in your book.
waved her wand and said the magic words.
Let's begin now.
Well met, witches. Welcome once again to Storybook, Sacred Lore of Witchcraft. Tonight we've been gifted a special piece of sacred lore. Joanna, the Polish folk witch, has personally translated a piece of Polish folklore, the tale of Mr. Twardowski. Listen as Joanna narrates the tale for us.
The Legend of Mr. Twardowski in 4 parts. Translated from public domain tale Baśń o panu Twardowskim by Artur Opman. Part 1. How Mr. Twardowski the father sold his son to the devil. A nobleman rode from the fair and shouted, "Our luck is fair!" He drank to his health, his head spun with wealth. Upon a grey horse, fiery, long-maned of course, sometimes trotting, sometimes ambling, carried Mr. Twardowski rambling. For one must be informed, a magistrate he was, a gentleman indeed, and his name was Mr. Twardowski, possessor of a noble village, Twardowa, near Krakow's fold, where substance was plenty, fish, mushroom, wheat, a true paradise for a nobleman. Mr. Twardowski rode through the forest and hummed occasionally. His soul was merry, through the night was dark around him. The forest in ominous dimness, as they say, eyes play tricks on you. Nothing can be heard, nothing seen. And there's no reason to be embarrassed. Anyone would quail on a journey through a forest so dark indeed. But Mr. Twardowski, an old warrior, though he had gold in his pouch, feared no one, boldly trotting the path. Suddenly, a shout, a flash from a sturdy gun, the strike of a club, and Mr. Twardowski fell like a trunk. He fell head-on from the saddle. Then a stranger unpins his sack, a fierce bandit, mad alike, with a bristly face. Another, without asking, seizes the sword and horse, while the third tears off his coat and adorns himself with it. In such dire straits, Mr. Twardowski, a worthy man, trembled. "To arms! No sword! Save me, anyone, even the devils!" Barely he thought, and behold, what of this whole assault? Bandits vanish like shadows. His clothes lie beside. The horse nudges his ear, and the sack secure under his belt. The nobleman was amazed. What had happened here? And suddenly, a low voice speaks up. "Greetings, sir, handsomely." He kicks his leg with a rustle. "You called me, so here I am." Mr. Twardowski looks aside, a monstrosity hunched. The moon slips from behind the clouds so he sees them clearly. A sharp-nosed imp, tightly clothed, his tail beating his heels, and from under his hat a horn stealthily peeks out. Mr. Twardowski trembled at the voice and sniffed the message with his nose. The devil in person! He's brewed himself a pint of beer. What to do in this distress? Can't reject anything. It's unbearable rudeness. So he says to the devil, I am grateful for your help in saving me from the bandits' jaws, but surely nothing is free in this world, so I humbly ask, let's talk about the price for the devil's assistance. The devil wags his tail and confronts Twardowski head-on. You will give me what you had not, nor expected, about which you didn't speak to anyone and didn't leave at home. Mr. Twardowski ponders a bit until he hits himself on the forehead. Something I know nothing about? Let him take it, perfect. I know my interests, we'll outwit the devil. There is no loss if I know nothing of it. He shakes the imp's hand, agreed. They signed the pact. Mr. Twardowski rides on, and there, from beneath the edge of the forest, the devil's laughter echoes. The golden morning dawns. Mr. Twardowski rides on, swiftly his horse approaching the manor. Then, what's this? Great heavens! In front of the manor, under the porch, a nurse with a child. The door wide open, the cradle rocking. Mr. Twardowski, it's not you who tricked the devil, but the devil tricked you. You didn't know about the child. You sold your own newborn son. Part 2. How young son Twardowski went to hell to retrieve the pact. Young Twardowski grows. He's already in his 12th spring. A good and wise lad, always buried in books. He dives into folios with his mind, and the printed word is 100 times dearer to him than sweets and mischief. But old Mr. Twardowski, though he has ample profit from the village, though the parish priest praises his son, the old man seems troubled. He is consumed by a secret. His eyes are gloomy. He walks in mourning attire and cries in his chamber. So one day, the boy says, "Father, what's troubling you? Trust my courage. Maybe I can advise something. It pains me to see you troubled, Father. Speak openly to me." He spoke honestly and modestly. Mr. Twardowski, at those words, began the tale from the beginning. With tears he recounted how the robbers attacked him, how in the heat of the moment he called upon the devil for help, and how, unaware, he lost the flesh of his flesh. When the lad heard this, he became restless until he got out of breath. "Be of good cheer, Father, I'm on it, as if it were summer. I know many exorcisms. I'll smash the devil's head in. I'll break his horns in a blink. I am off to hell tomorrow." Indeed, the next morning, when the manor was still asleep, the lad went out into the valley, saying his prayers aloud. And what did he take with him? Muskets, gunpowder, sabers? A flask of holy water. He runs until he reaches a crossroads. Something rustles in the grain. A pair of eyes gleam. a grey mouse pops out and whispers with its small snout, "Young lad, follow me boldly. Through lands and waters I'll lead you to hell." They go through forests, thickets, where the blue Vistula murmurs, through mountains, snowy Tatras, where the freezing winds howl, through terrifying paths, where you're constantly entangled in nettles, and through the desert of sand, where there's nothing but fear. Finally, after many days, they approach their goal. A straight road, and on it a bustling crowd. Packed wagons rushing, adorned servants riding horses. Laughter rings from the carriages, and the coachmen cracking their whips. And what surprises the lad, that on such a road a beggar is a rare sight. A beggar treads a narrow, difficult, thorny path, less populated, sustained by a single slice of bread to finally reach heavens. The mouse continues ahead, leading the boy to hell. The sunset reddens. The lad faints from the heat. The hellish heat blasts from the black rock, and the furious clamor is heard. This was indeed hell. The lad takes out his sprinkler, uncorks the flask, and sprinkles left and right at all the devils in flight. A terrifying roar ensues, as if one had beaten 100 pigs, until one of the demons shouts, "What does the master wish?" "I must retrieve the pact for my soul from you." "The pact? I've never heard of it. Write to Berdychów." "Pact? Where did you hear of that? And what a treasure to find! Such little tricks and such audacity! Hey, give him a stick!" So the devils mock the lad. Oh, how the lad swings the sprinkler, how he slashes them with his rosary, how he jumps into the heart of hell ahead of the demons. The uproar swells, the imps squirm like the drill, they rush to the walls, to the gates, until they shout, "We'll return it!" And they lead Twardowski to the iron chest. That chest is as tall as a house, as deep as a well. Inside, hellish documents are coiled. To find something there, impossible. Let the gentleman search. A lot of time passes. The lad searched for 4 years. He's covered in mud up to his ears, until he finds the soul pact, signed with his father's blood, stamped by the devil. On the parchment card, the sign, 2 devil's claws. He takes it. He sets off home. His soul rejoices, but from the bloody abyss, devilish giggles rush. The devils laugh at him. "Farewell, colleague. Time flies swiftly. You will be back with us." Part 3. How Twardowski made a pact with the devil for knowledge and wisdom. Mr. Twardowski in Krakow enhances his mind. Through all his youthful age always buried in books. He graduates from university. He knows the planets and the earth, reads the future from the stars. But he wants more. He wants to make discoveries, find the elixir of life, and crack the wise recipe that turns lead into gold. In his alchemical workshop, he heats furnace after furnace, potions sizzle, substances burn, yet nothing is created. Until one night he whispers, "Human power isn't enough. The devil knows these secrets. I will summon the devil with a charm." The moon peeks through the window. Toads soak in their jars. Bat's skeleton hangs to dry. A human skull bears its teeth from a shelf. A crocodile on the ceiling, though stuffed, snores, and in the corner in its coffin an Egyptian mummy stands. The guard is on watch. The city sleeps. The clock strikes midnight. Mr. Twardowski furrows his brow. He draws a circle in chalk, waves his magic wand, and summons a horror. Blue flame flashes. Something rumbles at the door. The mummy sighs in the corner as the devil appears at the threshold. "I am summoned. What do you desire, sir?" Mr. Twardowski grabs his sides. "Come closer, devil. A few steps. Listen to my command and fulfill it immediately." There was a flash. "What do you desire?" "I want to be the wisest in the world, to possess all riches, to understand the language of birds, to hear how the grass grows, to live eternally in youth, to cure every disease, and to have for myself 6 devils to serve me. These are the terms of our agreement. What I have listed, I must have." "What will you give for it?" "My soul." The devil scratches his head. "Ha! Let's draw up an agreement." "Not so fast. Just a moment. Wait a little. Before I decide on such important matters, first, my dear gracious devil, let me test your power. And so, without wasting time, put your thinking cap on." "Ah, so much fuss for one human soul. I'm listening." "First, therefore, a plentiful supply of silver from the whole republic, so I never experience poverty. In the devil's spirit, transfer it to the mines in Olkusz." "That will be done." "Then there is a rock near Ojców called Sokola Skała. Let it be placed under the clouds by morning with the thicker end up. This will adorn my realm." "It shall be done, I promise." "And thirdly, from grains of sand you must build a kind of tower. Let it have many floors. Well, it can be without a roof, but in this whole building let grain upon grain lie, and if the wind messes it up or blows away even one grain, for the clumsy work the whole pact will be void." "Is it this hot in the room, or am I burning with heat? My head is boiling from these countless demands. Ha, well, what can I say? In honor of your illustrious personage, I'll make these 3 things in a snap. It will be troublesome enough, but hell has a rule that when a word is spoken, it's as good as done." He flew off. The night is at its end when he returns to the chamber. There's silver, the tower is standing, and the rock is turned over. The agreement has been fulfilled. Your soul is ours, sir. Mr. Twardowski, with a pale face and a frown on his face. Well, but I have one more condition. Nowhere in the whole world can you capture me to collect. Only in Rome. And he twirls his mustache. The devil is indignant. He grumbles, but finally he says, "So be it." He smiles maliciously and disappears like a phantom. I think he truly wants to trick me, darn it. Part 4. How the devil caught Twardowski in Rome and how he sits on the moon to this day. Twardowski lives long. The cities and villages know him, as the whole Poland knows the sorcerer. He heals all illnesses. He's not afraid neither of swords, nor rifles, nor cannons, nor any such things. He's the bravest of the brave. Sometimes in a nobleman's boots he trots on a cock. Sometimes he visits fairs, bargaining with vendors for pots. He travels across the land in posh carriages. You'll see him everywhere. And thus his life goes by. Once he was on a journey, and behold, the sky clouds over, and terrible storm roars, and rain pours like from a bucket. He is soaked to the bone. Ah, trouble, and illness is certain. And lo and behold, a tavern nearby. So he enters the tavern and orders a meal. Suddenly, lightning flashes, thunder strikes after thunder, a dreadful laugh fills the whole house. Ominous roars above the house until finally, with a thunder, the devil appears out of nowhere. Snap, he snatches the nobleman. The tavern is called Rome. They fly upwards. Above them, smoke rises from countless devils. Fire spews from their mouths, and around them is turmoil. Mr. Twardowski is in trouble. As he's being taken by the devil, he recalls his youth, bright, pious years, and in this flight from the world, he begins to embrace the repentance of a Christian. He condemns his actions and starts to sing his rosary. He looks around, and there's no devil, but with both feet he stands on the moon with a golden silver face, and he hears a voice from above. Your heartfelt repentance saved your soul. Around there is only deep night. Below, Krakow and the nearby villages. Twardowski, on the moon's threshold, gives thanks to God. Year after year flies by, and the knowledge spreads everywhere in Poland that the mage will sit like this until the end of the world.
At our next gathering, Joanna will join us again so we can discuss this tale, its themes, and how it may inform our own craft. Until then, may all your travels be filled with wonder.